How's it going, dudes? Today we take a look at the original 2005 Wookiee Catamaran with the question in mind: is this set still worth it?
Box. Instructions. Main build. Side build. Minifigures. Set 7260 Wookiee Catamaran, coming at 376 pieces with 6 minifigures, a main build, and a side build. Now, so far, this is LEGO's only attempt at the Wookiee Catamaran, and we also do get a Swamp Speeder, which they have remade before, and this is the first appearance of the Swamp Speeder in LEGO. The Wookiee Catamaran is an interesting ship plane thing in the Star Wars universe. Also, unfortunately, it is inaccurate from what it's supposed to look like in the movie. Up here with this main like turbine engine, there's supposed to be like a pod here and a pod here, which is lacking on the set. But before we take a closer look, let's take a quick look at the box and instructions. The box art shows the Wookiee Catamaran flying into the beach, which it kind of looks like it's about to attack the Swamp Speeder. In fact, it looks like it's about to shoot the Swamp Speeder with its main play feature and just blow the thing to pieces. But the box art, there's a lot going on. We have explosions, the beach, the water, background. In the background, you see a Wookiee village. We also see some little Wookiees in the back there too. But like with any LEGO Star Wars set, of course, you have to have the LEGO logo, Star Wars, and then Vader on fire in the corner. Age is 8+, set number, name, piece count, it's all there. But what makes this box somewhat unique is the fact that there's an open window screen for 2 of the minifigures. Here's where the Wookie Warrior would have been in place of the rubber band holder. And next to that is where Luminara would be, where you can stick your finger in to activate the light up feature. Up top, we have some more logos and all the minifigures included. On the back of the box, we can see some images showing off some of the play features, such as the main flick fire missile and a bomb dropping play feature. We also see some alternate builds, such as this looks like to be a command base with some smaller ships. And then we have this ship with looks like a little speeder, snowmobile. And probably my favorite thing about this box is this image right here with all the other sets from this Waves release. We have like the Clone Turbo Tank, the ATST, we have the Corporate Alliance Tank Droid. But moving on from the box, we can take a quick look at the instructions. When we open it up, we can see all the figures built, and we start off with the Swamp Speeder build, which then leads into the Wookiee Catamaran, showing off some really cool build techniques. If we go to the back of the book, some more advertisements for more Revenge of the Sith sets, such as the ARC 170, Jedi Starfighter with Vulture Droid, Tri-Fighter, the Ultimate Lightsaber Duel. This was such an amazing time for LEGO Star Wars. I wish I could go back in time and get all these sets from store shelves. We also have an advertisement for the LEGO Club and the Shop at Home catalogs. And of course, on the back, you can have a LEGO Star Wars set from 2005 with some sort of advertisements for the LEGO Star Wars video game. Peak gaming right here. Now, before we take a closer look at the builds themselves, we can't forget to take a nice close look at the amazing cast of minifigures in this set. The set has 2 exclusive minifigures, the clones and the Luminara. Up first, we'll take a look at the star figure of the set, the original Luminara, which is one of the 5 light-up Star Wars minifigures. And if you're unfamiliar with what that means, essentially there was 5 Star Wars minifigures, including Luminara, that had specially molded arms, legs, and bodies with a battery in their body to activate their lightsaber, which lights up, and I'm super thankful that mine still lights up and is in good condition. These light up figures are super collectible and very sought after, and they're very unique. For example, their heads are super loose. This figure is super expensive. It's probably half the value of this entire set. If you want to find one in good condition, you'll be paying a minimum of $100. And finding these light up figures in good condition is pretty rare because there's a lot of variables. One, the light may just not work, which could affect the value. Since you can't rip them apart, their heads are stuck onto their bodies, which means you can't change the capes. And the cape is fabric, so with enough force, you can rip them off, and there are plenty of listings out there in the world with light up figures missing their capes. And you can't replace them because the heads don't come off. Now, you can take their helmets off and their left arm, which for some reason is also unique to these figures. But that's enough about Luminara. Basically, to sum it up, these light up figures are super cool, very unique, and just amazing. Next up, we have the Green Markings Clone Trooper, which is the name listed on Bricklink. In the set, we do get 2 of these bad boys, and these are exclusive to the set, and they're pretty expensive. On the aftermarket, they start around, I think, $60 last time I checked. But this figure is essentially just the basic Phase 2 2005 plain clone armor with some green markings on it. For an accessory, they do just get the classic megaphone blaster. If we take off the helmet, it is the classic black head. If we spin the figure around, we see some back printing with some more green markings. I absolutely love this figure. It's very unique. It adds a lot to the set, in my opinion. And it's just a cool figure in Star Wars history. And here we have the fan favorite original Star Wars Yoda and his sand green head and his beady eyes that have no print on them. This figure appeared in 2 other sets, the Jedi Duel and the Luke's X-Wing from Dagobah. Would like to mention that the print is incorrect because the figure is based off of Episode 5, Empire Strikes Back, where he has his little flute and those little pockets, where in Episode 3, he has more traditional Jedi robes. If we spin the figure around, we can see some back printing, which is always appreciated, especially for the time in 2005. You didn't see a lot of that. And for accessory, he doesn't get a lightsaber, but he does come with a king, so he can beat up the clones if they try to rebel on him for whatever reason. And if you'd like to add this figure to your collection separately without buying a set, you'll be paying anywhere from like $8 to $12. Now, of course, you can't have a Wookiee Catamaran without a Wookie Warrior to go along with it. Duh. For accessory, they give the figure a black spear. And this figure, being a Wookiee, shares very similarities with the Chewbacca minifigure, being that it's just mainly a headpiece that comes off if I don't rip the entire body off, and then underneath, it's just a blank reddish-brown torso. A common thing with this figure is the gold printing at the top. Most of them tend to wear off over time with play, but we do have some nice printing on the front and on the back. Now, the Wookie Warrior also does appear in one other set, being the Wookiee Attack, also from 2005. Honestly, really cool that LEGO did another type of Wookiee, other than just throwing a bunch of Chewbacca's in these 2005 Kashyyyk sets. And with LEGO being LEGO, of course they're going to throw a Chewbacca figure in every set they possibly can, because, I mean, they spend a lot of time in this mold. I'm sure they'd like to get their good use out of it before they retire it. For an accessory in the set, he does get a dark bluish-gray crossbow, which I believe is a fairly uncommon color for that piece. And in terms of other set this guy appears in, he appears in a bunch of other sets. It's Chewbacca. Now let's take a close look at the builds themselves. First up, we'll start off with the Swamp Speeder, the side build, which is actually probably my favorite build out of the 2 between them. I just really like the colors, and it's a pretty good Swamp Speeder given that it's 2005. There's nothing crazy about this Swamp Speeder besides, you know, there are some rare exclusive color variant pieces and some nice printed pieces, such as these armor pieces. On the front, we do get 2 turrets. They do rotate quite a bit thanks to those Technic pieces, and they're held on pretty well. The back engine does have a swivel because it's connected via two Technic pieces, and we have this one 1x1 clip connecting to this rod, which connects it to the front of the Swamp Speeder. The main build of this Swamp Speeder, or what it's really built upon, if we turn it upside down, it's a few plates, some bricks, a few Technic bricks, and that's about it. Now, this is the part where I will mention I'm a little saddened the fact that there's no like printed element or control panel for the clones to like play, drive the Swamp Speeder. They just kind of sit there and then they just kind of go. Now, I'm sure if you notice on the box, it does show when you have the clones in the build, you can put their guns, blasters, into the Technic stud holes. If I can, it's kind of a little tricky. Oh, there goes his helmet. So it looks like that. Having a place to put the blasters is cool, but with these older blasters, really they can put them anywhere. And I just broke the Swamp Speeder. You can just forget that last part. And that about does it for the Swamp Speeder. Honestly, really solid build, especially for a side build. Instead of doing like some sort of lame side turret cannon, LEGO decided to be like, you know what? Nah, we're gonna throw a Swamp Speeder in there. Definitely the move. I like. Now it's time for the main event, the actual Catamaran. This thing, at first glance, it's pretty good. It's pretty big. It's brown, and it looks like an H. In the front, we do get 2 propellers connected to this much bigger engine, which connects via Technic to the rest of the build, which is also another Technic heavy build, as it should be, because this thing is weird looking. Behind the engine, we do have 4 of these, what I think they're supposed to be bombs. You just pluck them off, and then you drop them. At least that's how I always imagine them to be. Underneath the engine, mixed in with all that Technic, you can kind of see the main play feature, which is this giant missile here. And when you press this tan Technic ball down, it fires. But wait, there's more. If we take these 2 blue cylinder bricks and put them in this compartment, and we push this Technic ball towards the center of the ship, they drop bombs. This thing drops bombs, it shoots a giant missile, the propellers spin. What more could you ask for a Wookiee Catamaran? Maybe some cup holders would be nice. If you grab it by the main Technic frame here, it's pretty sturdy thanks to these Technic lift arms holding it all together. You can definitely get some nice swooshing in, which is very satisfying when it comes to swooshing. Now, when it comes to the color scheme, it is primarily brown and gray, light gray and dark gray, with a little bit of tan. And if you're a big Star Wars collector, that's a pretty uncommon color combination. There's not too many brown Star Wars ships that I can think of off the top of my head. Now, if the color doesn't pop off of your Star Wars shelves to contrast with all the gray ships that Star Wars has made, the size of the ship will. This is a pretty big set. There's a lot of big elements and it has a pretty big footprint. For reference, that's a clone, and then there's the rest of the ship. And given its size and awkward shape, it's kind of hard to display, all seriousness. Now that we've taken a closer look at the box, instructions, minifigures, and the set itself, let's talk about, is the set worth adding to your collection? Now, back in 2005, this set retailed for $49.99, which at the time seems a little steep in my opinion, but there is also a light-up minifigure, so maybe that explains why the price is a little higher than most sets around that time. But if you're looking to add this set to your collection complete, even without the box, you'll be paying anywhere from like $200 minimum. The Luminara minifigure and those clones really drive and hike the price up to this a lot. It's also a pretty rare set to begin with, given it's from 2005. Now, if you can find yourself a good deal on this set complete, I highly recommend it because it's very unique. It adds different color to your Star Wars collection, and the figures are just great all around. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. But let me know your thoughts and opinions on this set in the comments below. Can you see yourself adding this to your collection for a good price? What would the most you be willing to spend on this set given the opportunity to add it to your collection? But thank you guys so much for watching. Greatly appreciate the support on the channel recently. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and remember to have a great day. Peace.